Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday, or as I like to call it, the second Monday of the week. So, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things today that are completely different, but yet fall into the same category. And as the title suggests, thievery. So the first thing I wanted to do, besides the fact, tell you guys my potatoes are up. Yay! So the simple things in life, right? First thing I wanted to read you was an email I got yesterday from one of y'all. She asked to remain anonymous, so I will respect her wishes here. But I wanted to read you this because if y'all were at the live stream Saturday night, I think it was about 10, 15 minutes in, and I'm sitting directly looking out my living room window here when I do these things, my security lights went off, and I jumped up to go look and see what was going on. Now, that's kind of the whole point of security lights, guys, is, when they go off, to look and see what happens. And I'll give you this. This goes way back to when I was young. Was I 22, 23? It was one of my first jobs after I got out of the Army. And I was repoing cars in Chicago. All right. And sidebar on this one, but just to give you an idea. And yeah, repoing cars in Chicago, that's a fun job. Dead bodies, getting shot at. Yeah, those things happen. But we used to laugh all the time because, car alarms, right? So we'd go to the car, we'd set off the car alarm, and we'd just wait for the person in their apartment or in their house to go click, click, and shut it off, and then we'd get in the car and take off. It's funny. Nobody paid attention to the alarms. It was like, okay, what a waste of money if your car alarm goes off and you don't even pay attention to it. Same thing with your security, okay? And this email is telling you via me to beef up your security. So let me read this to you. Morning, Mr. Pinball and the cool Mrs. Pinball. Last night between 1 and 3 a.m., our container garden got attacked by thieves. They stole 6 10-gallon bags and 20 5-gallon bags of plants. Because of the deer in northeast Tennessee, about 2 hours from you, I grow in my greenhouse in containers. Fences are going up this afternoon and security lights will be installed. I'm an early riser and hubby's a night person. We thought between our sleep patterns we'd know what goes on here. Guess not. Broke my heart and I don't want it to happen to anyone else. Can you mention more in your videos about security and things that are happening now? My neighborhood is quiet and we have had no problems until now with things walking. Okay. So, quiet neighborhood, and of all things people go steal, plants. Really? Okay. Seriously, if people are going to start stealing plants, think of what else they're going to start stealing. All right. Again, we're talking about the age of UBI, nobody wanting to go to work. I've mentioned this many times. What happens? People don't want to work, can't work. It's easier to steal. They want to abolish the police. Okay. This is the world we're going to find ourselves in, guys. So, beef up your security and certainly pay attention to what is going on in your neighborhood and around. Talk to your neighbors. Even if it's not about prepping, talk to your neighbors. Just everybody keep an eye out for each other. There, might be people running around trying to steal stuff out of the garage. I remember living in Indiana one time. I was out in my backyard mowing the lawn, and apparently somebody pulled up to my next door neighbor's house. This was in the middle of the day on a Saturday, and unloaded everything from his garage. Power tools, lawnmower, everything like that. I didn't even know. I was just out in my backyard. Didn't see it, didn't anything like that. And he came over a little bit later and said, holy crap, everything's gone. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, everything's gone. He goes, on the security camera, somebody backed a truck up to my garage and took everything out of the garage. He goes, I left the garage open by mistake. Poof. All right. And this is broad daylight. So, give you that as an idea. And I lived in a quiet neighborhood too. So, all right, security-wise. So that's the first thing to worry about, thievery. Now, here's the other one. If 2021, right? We did the census last year. So the first reports came out of the census yesterday as to what is happening with electoral votes and representation in the House of Representatives. Okay, remember, senators don't change. Each state gets 2, so that doesn't make a lick of difference, right? But representatives and electoral votes are based on population. So here's what happened, okay? And I'll give you the states that lost representation and the ones that gained. Lost. California lost a seat. Minnesota lost a seat. Michigan, Illinois, Alabama, Ohio, West Virginia, New York, and Rhode Island. And Rhode Island. That's it. Okay. Now, if you look at this, it's a lot of Northeast. Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota. Okay. Rust Belt area. And our good friends in California lost people. Now, not a whole lot. Some of this didn't surprise me at all, okay? California losing people, we've seen this constantly. New York losing people, we've seen stories on that. Illinois, we've seen stories on that. The Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Minnesota I can understand after last summer. So what's going on in Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, I don't know, but those states lost seats. Now, the ones that gained them, Montana, Oregon, which surprised the hell out of me. Who the hell would want to move to Oregon right now? Colorado, Arizona, Texas, Florida, and North Carolina. Now, obviously, there were more states that lost seats than gained them. That's because it looks like Florida is going to gain 2 and Texas is going to gain 3. Now, this is the funny part. And this was a comment on one of the articles I read talking about this, and I'll just read it to you. There is one bright spot for Democrats, as demographic changes also mean that Republican strongholds such as Texas are becoming more Democratic, putting the party closer to its long-term goal of someday moving the Lone Star State out of the Republican column. Now, I'm going to give you my analysis on this one. We know a lot of businesses, a lot of people from California are moving to Texas, okay? Now, Texas is a notoriously blue state. But, okay, just like anywhere else, not everybody that lives in California is a screaming, bleeding heart, liberal, idiot Democrat, okay? I'm guessing probably what happened is there's a lot more conservatives that said, the hell with California, I'm out of here, it's got too expensive, I'm going somewhere else, and they moved to Texas. That's my bet, okay? You probably have some Californians that moved to Oregon. You probably have some Californians that moved to Arizona. Arizona, you probably get a lot from all over the place because Sun City, the Phoenix area, everything like that is a monstrosity of a retirement community, okay? But, so that being said there. Colorado, okay, that's picking up a seat. Again, my guess is Californians. Colorado used to be a red state. It's flipped blue, and it's getting bluer and bluer and bluer as the state goes in the toilet further and further and further. North Carolina added a state. Now, I can't really give you a call on that one because North Carolina is kind of teetering between red and blue right there, and I don't know where, North Carolina hasn't been on anybody's radar for picking up people. Apparently they did. Florida picking up a couple of states, okay? Not a big surprise here. New Yorkers love to move to Florida, okay? So that gets to be a little worrisome because if you have a lot of Democrats moving from New York to Florida, okay, fine. New York's going to lose a seat. Florida's going to pick up 1 or 2. But the catch is the electoral votes. Because remember, Congress is by district, so you could have half your representatives Democrat, half your representatives Republican. That's fine. Electoral vote is winner take all. So if you had a bunch of Democrats move from the New York area, again, that's not the only place, but heavily, okay, Florida flips blue, that becomes very dangerous for conservatives. All right, Texas, I'm not concerned about, but the fact of California losing a seat, New York losing a seat, God, we could only wish that maybe Maxine Waters and AOC be out of a job, but that's not going to be where they're going to lose a seat from. Inevitably, they'll lose a seat in some Republican district somewhere. Okay, so. That was just kind of interesting, came out today, but something to pay attention to because Granted, the next presidential election is until 2024, but the next congressional election is in 18 months, guys. Okay. And, if y'all do know this, don't know this, every congressman, House of Representatives, is up for re-election every 2 years. So all of them are up every 2 years. Only a third of the Senate goes up every 2 years. So we could have, cross our fingers, a flip in the White House, in Congress, depending on this Senate, because, okay, Texas just grabbed 2 or 3 more representatives. Let's hope to God, all you guys out there from Texas, okay, make sure that if you got any liberals around you, you enlighten them to the real value of the real world. So, okay, so I thought I'd talk to you about, but, thievery, okay, figure government kind of fits in that one. So, all right, guys, have a good Tuesday. Obviously, things seem to be warming up a little bit in Ukraine, Russia, with everybody moving troops again. But contrary to what you're hearing, there's not any major offensives or shelling or anything like that going on as of 8:15 here on Monday night. So if anything changes, of course, I will let you know from what I hear. But, like I said last time, double check and triple check anything that you hear online, because there's still a whole bunch of hypesters out there who are trying just to put the fear of God in everybody. So, all right, guys, have a good Tuesday. See y'all. Pinball out.